Hello my friends and welcome to Wordly Talks. This is the show where we talk to freelancers in all forms and sizes to find out what makes them tick and to see how they face their challenges. As the very first guest on the show, we are more than happy to welcome Anastasia Hamurari, who will talk to us about her work as a writer. This is the YouTube side in our growing community called Wordly Beings, and if you like this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click that bell button, and please follow our journey on Instagram at Wordly_Beings. Now, let's head over to Rasmus and his interview with Anastasia.
Hi Anastasia, welcome to this episode of Wordly Talks. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you?
I'm good, Rasmus. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm actually pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well, except it's warm as hell here, but we'll survive.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Yeah, we'll get through it together.
Yeah. So tell me about yourself. What is it that you do?
Well, I'm from a small country, Eastern European country, Moldova. You probably know about it. Some people probably don't. It depends where you're from. But yeah, I'm from this country and I'm a writer. So I'm a digital creator, content creator, storyteller, whatever you want to call it. I'm all of that. And yeah, I've been freelancing and working in the office on and off for the past, I'd say, 3 years or so. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, this is like in a nutshell, little description of what I've been up to.
All right. I read on your website that this was a childhood passion. So was there always writing for you, or was it something else in the meantime?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I do remember writing good essays when I was in school, which was a while ago, which was like over 5 years ago. But I feel like that's what kind of gave me the push to go with writing. I was receiving really good feedback from my teachers, from my colleagues, my friends, from everybody. And I was like, you know what, maybe, just maybe, I should, try and see what it's like to be a full-time writer, or to at least try creating a blog, which is what I did later on when I was in university. And same thing happened in university. I also started getting really good feedback from others. And I realized that, well, if it resonates with people, if, I can help somebody with my traveling, for instance, articles or book reviews, which apparently were like a huge thing. And I realized that, if other people like it, then probably, I have a thing for writing, and probably I could make something of it.
All right, that's nice. So the inspiration and motivation came from other people telling you that you were doing something great, and
I was doing a good job. Yeah, basically.
Right, perfect, nice. So what was the biggest challenge getting started with the freelancing? What was did you go into it right away, or was it a lot of work behind it?
There's always a lot of work behind it. Always a lot of behind the scenes, which people don't usually talk about, which I just don't get it, which kind of creates this, perfect picture that, it's also easy, that you just get into it, you just, decide to be a freelancer, and then all of a sudden you are the next day. For me personally, I was working as a copywriter in the office back in my country, and that's how it started. That's how it all started, basically. So I was working there. I realized that I didn't really enjoy it, mostly because what I was doing kind of didn't really resonate with what the job description had. And I'd say that I was like, okay, well, if that's what I'm going to do for the next 50 years or so, give or take, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And I'd say that after that, it was like a small internship. And after that, I decided to just go a different route and choose a different thing. And I was actively researching different jobs, different writing gigs. And that's how I got my writing gig in India, also in the office. And so, yeah, I did have quite a few office jobs, as you call them, 9-to-5 jobs, before I got into freelancing.
So when you started freelancing, were you using a website, or were you just trying to find jobs for yourself?
At first I was using websites. Everybody heard about Upwork, Fiverr, all those websites, and obviously I was curious to see what they're like, and if I can probably earn something from there, or if I could just get good experience in writing. by taking like different gigs over there and seeing, if there's demand. And I did actually do this for quite some time, for like half a year, I'd say. I would take different, I was collaborating with contractors pretty much, on and off for half a year. And it was good, but it was very time consuming, in terms of you would always have to be on the website, you always have to be checking, for different jobs and saying, when's this one? Because, a lot of good ones, they just go like that very quickly. So you have to be always up in your toes and just be very reactive, I'd say. But after that, I'd say I already created my website and started taking it a little more seriously. I started, not just communicating with those who were posting different gigs on those websites, and, started networking better, I'd say, created my LinkedIn account, and I went from there.
Yeah, networking is key to...
Oh, it definitely is, definitely, for sure. Exactly. Do realize that before, but yeah. And this whole project we're doing right now started from both me and my colleague Anders wanting to get into the freelance business, but it is a very difficult thing to do, because there are a lot of, like, you need to put in so much money and so much work to even get a chance to have the first job. We checked out a few websites, and I thought they were like, so this is basically people spending money to earn money. Basically. So we wanted to try and create something that we're not like that, but you still get jobs, or you still get shown around, so you get to show your work. So that's the point of this whole Worldly Beings, Worldly Talks, is that we want to make sure that freelancer, the people that are actually working super hard, actually gets to get out there and do something. So that's the whole plan idea. Idea of the project. So all things going on, and happy to have you here. I mean, it's a journey, as they say, it's all about the journey. So
the big challenges and all the hard work put in, but like, has there ever been any low points where you felt like, I'm just gonna call it quits,
give up, and that's it? Now, of course, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anyone whose path, like career path or like life in general, is like really smooth and bumpless. I feel like for everybody, there's a lot of behind the scenes that nobody else knows about, unless people decide to share it. So for me, it was basically the same thing. Like, whenever I remember when I was working as a copywriter, once again, while I was working, I was constantly applying for jobs for like, I don't know, like 4 to 5 months, I'd say, before something good would come out of it. So I'd say that's like one of the, things that goes behind the scenes that nobody sees, that, you have to be really determined. And at times when you don't see any results, when you don't get any, replies to your countless applications, that's when you start to be like, is this really what I'm, supposed to be doing? Or maybe I should try something else, maybe to get out of it. But at the same time, I feel like that shouldn't really discourage you from continuing, to apply for jobs, because, without all this hard work, you wouldn't really value, the gigs, the jobs, that you actually get after that. So while it seems effortless, for me, like, oh, I just had like this office job and then I had another one and then I became a freelancer. It was never really like that. Like there was always, times when I would be sitting here and thinking, okay, well, where am I gonna get, when I'm gonna, be able to pay my bills, like, will I be able to provide for myself for the next month or two? So I feel like there's always bumps in the road, but that's what makes the journey so interesting and exciting, I feel like.
Like having that feeling like I have to earn the money, because otherwise I won't survive and pay the rent. That's a real like carrot to keep chasing.
Right.
And so was that like one of the things that helped you keep going, to have that in your mind that you have to do this, or otherwise you won't be able to pay the rent?
Oh, definitely. It was that. It was also the there was just so many different opportunities, that come with you being persistent and being very disciplined. And at first, I mean, I was just a high school graduate, and after that, I was a university graduate. And obviously, I didn't really have that good of a self-discipline, which I had to develop, as the time went by. So I had to decide for myself that, if I want to stick with this path, if I want to continue, if I want to become profitable and at the same time be able to completely fulfill my potential, I have to just keep going. I have to be disciplined. I have to wake up every day and continue searching, continue applying, and just hoping for the best, doing my best, most importantly, because when you do your best, obviously good things are coming your way sooner or later.
Of course. So if you were to categorize like the top 3 things that you've done that you recommend people to do as well, or the 3 things you've done that you feel like don't do this?
Don't do this. I feel like the first thing kind of ties up with whatever you said before in terms of feedback. You should always ask for feedback from people, whether it's your colleagues or your employers, contractors, whoever it is. You should always be willing to ask for their feedback. Even if it's not, positive, even if you don't agree with it, I don't think it really matters, because, that's how you get better. That's how you're better at what you do. And obviously you need this. The next thing I think would be to apply for jobs or, for different small temporary gigs, even if you don't feel like you're completely qualified. You know how it is sometimes they post these job descriptions with like, you need to have 15 years of experience in this field, even though you're supposed to be under 30, for instance, or that you're supposed to know every single software ever developed, which is obviously, not possible. But you have to apply anyway, because at the end of the day, the person who's going to get the job is most likely not completely qualified either. So you're basically competing with yourself, and you're kind of self-sabotaging yourself when you think that you're not really good enough, So I feel like that's the second thing that I would totally recommend to everybody. And then the third thing would be probably to always go an extra mile. Whatever you do, whatever you receive, whatever opportunity you get, always do your best. And it's not just because other people would note it, because of course they would remember, these things about you, and they would go back to you, which is so important when you're a freelancer. The clients that come back to you, they're probably the most valuable clients. But except for that, I'd say, yeah, I mean, if you do the best you can, obviously if you go an extra mile, even if it's not needed, it's probably not going to be mentioned by the contractor or by the employer, but if you still do it anyway, and I mean, it's going to be appreciated both by the person, by the other party, and it's going to make you feel better.
And what shouldn't you do?
And here's what you shouldn't do. Probably, you shouldn't, I mean, this sounds really basic, I think, but you should never give up. It sounds so cliche, but, whenever you feel like it's getting tough, whenever you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you actually are getting somewhere. You probably don't see it right now, but, in retrospect, you will see it. When the time passes, you will see that whatever you did actually brought, some really good results. And it actually is when it gets really hard and tough, is when you grow. So I'd say you have to keep being persistent and to keep going for it. And another thing, you should never, probably, once again, sounds so cliche, but you should not compare yourself to others. You see everybody, being so successful right now in the age of social media. Obviously, everybody always posts their highlights and posting how, successful they are, how many things they have achieved by 25, by 30, 35, no matter how old they are. And you start comparing and thinking about, if they achieved this thing, why didn't I already? Am I doing something wrong? But you have to remember that you don't know everything, about their journey. And they might have, 99.9% of the time, they probably also had those moments in life when they were not sure about what they're doing, whether they're supposed to continue doing it or not. So all it is just that you never know about the other person's journey. So you have to just be focused on yours.
Absolutely. So all of these things put together, when you decided to make your own brand with creating your own website, how was the process? Did it take you a long time, or Did you figure out straight away, like, this is what I want, this is how I want my website to look like, and this is what I'm looking for?
Well, I'd say I didn't decide it in one day. It was a gradual journey. So for me, starting to work in the office and then to going freelance and then combining the two, it was basically a gradual journey. So I did create a website though in just a couple of days, because I was high on this idea that I need a website and I need to put myself out there. I need to start promoting it on my social media, on my LinkedIn, and every single type of networking platform that there is. And I feel like that's when I decided, to just be more serious about it and to take it, as a ride or die type of a thing. So yeah.
What is the most fun project you get? Like when a company approaches you and they want something written for the content writing or anything, like what is the most fun thing to create?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I think the best thing I feel like is when I can combine, my passion for writing and creativity. So when there's, I guess, not too many requirements in terms of how they want the text to look like. If they want it to be really structured, if they want it to be adding information about this and that kind of limits, your imagination and your creativity. But when they say that you can just let your imagination fly, then you start creating, you start coming up with different ideas of, how you can help this company in a way that, would kind of make them stand out in the market from your competitors. So it's a win-win for both sides, I'd say. And also whenever there's something that requires you to also design something, like if there's a logo or something. I'm not a designer, but I do enjoy doing it in my free time. So whenever I get the chance to combine the two, that's for me, that's all I need, really.
That's awesome. But you're working with a magazine called Dive In?
Dive In,
right?
Dive In.
Oh, it's Dive In?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like dive in. No. I know, it's like I know. It's a little confusing. No, it's
Sweden, that's an L. No, it's not. But
oh, okay.
Yeah, but how long have you been doing that for?
I've been with them for a year already. Yeah, I started working with them in September of 2019, so it's been almost a year.
Oh, nice. Has it been like a lot of work, big challenges, or?
Yeah, I'll tell you that was and still is really my main focus, what I'm doing right now. Besides all the freelancing gigs that I have, this is the remote job that I've had for the past year, and I do get consistent work from them on a daily basis, pretty much. And that's really exciting. The fact that it's a traveling magazine, online magazine. Officially, it's a scuba diving magazine, but they talk about all things traveling. And I feel like that's what really got me hooked, on writing posts for them, different articles, blog posts, creating different reviews, guides, and all of that type of stuff. That was really close to me, because I'm a traveler myself. So I feel like, we just kind of found a common language there. And, that's why I've been, doing it so consistently for the past year.
All right. So, do you have any advice for somebody who wants to start? Because you've been with them for a year now, so that means you have a good connection with them. You have a good relationship with them. What is your tips to somebody who's just starting out to get that good connection, to get that relationship with somebody?
Well, first off, network. It sounds so basic, and a lot of people just really don't, put a lot of work into it. They think that just by applying to jobs for weeks and months should, get them that golden opportunity, but it never really works that way. You have to network, you have to reach out. Even if there's a job on the website that you really want to work, you really want to work with a company, but there's no job opening right now, you should reach out to them anyway. You should find their email address and you should just write them and be like, hey, I'm this and that, I can do this and that for you, and we can just discuss this. If you're interested, get back to me. So I feel like you have to be really proactive when it comes to these things, and that will be appreciated, and obviously you'll get there much faster that way, as opposed to just wishing for it and just applying, and not really changing your tactics or application strategy.
All right. So is there anything new you're working on that is coming out soon, or if it's anything you're writing, storytelling, as you were saying, your website is saying you write stories as well. Do you have anything like that coming up?
Okay. I do actually have a little business that I'm starting out, which is a green subscription box called Glen Label. But yeah, so far it's still in the works. I'm creating a community on Instagram, and I'm about to release an ebook that's gonna be given to my community for free in exchange for their email address. And yeah, after that we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's all in the works right now.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think we'll cut it right there. And thank you very much for doing this interview. It's very nice of you.
Yes, thank you for having me. That was interesting.
Oliver said, "Hey, you want to do an interview?"
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah.